What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I'm Sid the Nerdy Mark, and today I have your review of the OVA Battle Angel. Battle Angel, or GUNNM as it's known in Japan, is based off of the 1990 cyberpunk manga Battle Angel Alita, which of course also was the basis for the upcoming live-action film Alita Battle Angel, go figure. And of course the OVA did come out in 1993, and it comprises of two episodes, Rusty Angel and Tear Sign, both from the first and the second volume of Battle Angel Alita, respectively. Now, the OVA in question that we're going to talk about today kind of serves as more or less a preview for the manga. Kishiro honestly wasn't in a position to go forth with the anime. He was more focused on getting the manga up and making sure that's running successfully, which it has. It's been going successfully from 1990 all the way to 1995. It spanned over 5 years. So think of all the craziness that ensued in the whole 5 years and whatnot. Unfortunately, there are no plans to revive this anime or have an extension or make any more episodes of this anime for the time being. I guess hence why we're getting the live action film. So before I start talking about this OVA, I do want to point out a couple of differences between the anime and the manga. I'm not going to talk about every single one of them because there are quite a few. However, I will highlight a couple of them which I personally think are kind of important. So the first thing that I want to mention, the first difference between the manga and the anime, is that in the anime, the Battle Angel in question, her name is Gali, whereas in the manga, her name is Alita. Of course, Gali was her name in the original Japanese translation. However, when the manga itself was translated into English, they did change her name to Alita. But of course, when they made the OVA, they changed her name to Gali. Personally, I like Alita better. It sounds a lot more badass. And plus, in the manga, they explained this. Alita was actually the name of Professor Ito's son, and he gives it to her, you know, as a reminder of his son. That was kind of an interesting tidbit. Another thing is the character of Chirin, or Chirin, I don't know how to say her name, I'm sorry. Interestingly, she is a character specifically for the anime. She does not make a single appearance at all in the manga whatsoever. She's also a character in the live action movie itself, which we will talk about once I watch it. So yes, there is a review coming out for that. Another one that I wanted to mention is the environment. The area in which Alita, or Gali, and Ito live is called Scrap Iron City in the anime, but in the manga, it's simply referred to as the Scrapyard. So these were some interesting differences that I saw between the OVA and the manga. There are more, but these are just the ones that I really wanted to talk about. Now, a couple of character and even some plot notes that I did want to talk about in this OVA. Yes, we are going to get into some minor spoilers for the OVA Battle Angel, so if you've not seen it, this is your kind of spoiler warning. I want to talk about the environment, the city of Zalem. You know, the Zalem is actually right above Scrap Iron City, or the Scrapyard. Zalem is kind of like this paradise. It's like this place where everybody wants to, aspire to go up to. It's like the utopia of that particular environment, as it is mentioned by the character Hugo. Hugo is one of the biggest reasons that we know about Zalem, because he wants to go there so bad. And sticking with Zalem, Ito actually was a citizen of Zalem. He was a big name up there, along with his associate Chirin, whether she was like his ex-girlfriend or his colleague, we're not sure yet. And I have to say, that was kind of interesting that, he kind of left that whole thing. He has a different viewpoint of Zalem. He says that, Zalem is not exactly what it is all cracked up to be. So I love the two different views of that city, of that area, one by a young boy and one by an older gentleman who's actually been there and done that. I thought that was really, really interesting. Ito did move to Scrap Iron City, or the Scrapyard, to set up his practice there, where he does, of course, find Alita, or Gali. So that's kind of the whole idea. I know I didn't go through the whole overview of the story in the beginning, but you know, I thought we'd just go ahead and talk about some of the character notes. But I mean, I'm kind of giving you a bit of a high level idea anyway, so I hope you guys don't mind. When she does get her body and everything, she ends up starting to defend herself against evil cyborgs and whatnot, and she actually feels alive, a lot more alive when she's going out there and, you know, fighting all these robots and all these androids. And so because of which she does become a hunter warrior. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that Gally/Alita actually has no memories of her former self before she was, of course, destroyed and then found again by Ito. However, there is a manga for that as well. You know, it's like Apple. We have an app for that. Kishiro's like, I have a manga for that. I have not read that one just yet. I might actually have to go check it out. I have actually been reading the manga itself, which is kind of why I'm able to give you some of the differences. I've been reading it. I finished the first volume. I'm actually going to go into volume 2. Another thing I want to talk about is also the villains in this whole OVA and even this whole series. The villains are some of the most insufferable characters you'll ever meet. Like, they absolutely give zero F's about anything. They just want to get the damn job done. And I mean, I get it. They're paid killers, they're paid hunters and whatnot, but holy crap, like, the violence in this anime and this whole series is just mind-boggling to me. So, but anime is only for kids, right? I feel that this was a kind of, I wouldn't say it's a good or a bad thing. But the whole time, I understand why they're making them like a bunch of douchebags. Basically, it's because when Alita kills them, we don't feel so bad. We actually feel good that they died. So it's like, you know, oh my god, you know, he deserved that fate. But I'm looking at it and I'm just like, wow, you know, they really went there. Like, hell, one dude even disembowels her dog. Like, I kind of understood why they did it, but half the time it just made me, you know, just go like, whoa, you know, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, so those are some character notes that I wanted to talk about. But let's jump into some pros and cons of Battle Angel, aka GUNNM. So let's start off by talking about some of the pros and some of the things that I really enjoyed about this OVA. First things first, I really liked the characters in this whole series, but from Gally to Yugo to Professor Ito. I loved all these guys. And in the anime, we have you know, Ito kind of being the forefront and kind of being the focus for Gally or Alita. And then in part 2, we have the relationship between Yugo and Alita fleshed out more over there. I kind of liked how both characters kind of came in the forefront in their respective you know, episodes. That was pretty cool. I liked the way they did it. I also loved, and I think I alluded to this in the beginning, but Ito and, of course, Yugo do have extremely opposite opinions of the city of Zalem. It's really, really cool to see that. I love how, you know, Yugo, who has never been to Zalem but has only heard stories, wants to go there and explore it for himself. Kind of that childish innocence that he still has, and he doesn't know, you know, what's really out there. But you have a more grown-up person, an older person in the form of Ito. He is going there and he's like, well, you know, Zalem is not exactly what it's all cracked up to be. I thought that was an interesting dynamic. They don't really flesh out on it too much, but it's still there. You can kind of see it. If this had more episodes, I think they could have really done more. Another thing that I really enjoyed was the character of Gally or Alita. I love when she's in her regular mode. She's like a childish, playful little girl. But when it comes to battling one of those asshole cyborgs, she means business. Like, she shows no mercy to any of these guys, because, you know, they're some of the most insufferable villains that you'll ever see. I just love like how the innocence on her face just melts away and she's just this serious killing machine when she's in battle mode. It's so cool. And I also loved when she, you know, I hated when the dog died, but I loved how when she like took the dog's blood and just like smeared it on her face like war paint. Oh my god, that looked amazing. And it looks like they're gonna have a scene like that in the movie, so expect them to kill a dog in the live action film. I really hope not. Speaking of which, you know, speaking of her, you know, her engaging in battle, the action sequences in both the manga and the anime are absolutely fantastic. In the anime, they are so fluid, so smooth, very crisp. It's not jarring at all. Like, I don't know Like sometimes, in anime, sometimes fight scenes, you just sometimes are just like, what the hell is going on here? But here, no. Especially her battles between the one that kills the dog. I forget his name. I believe his name is Makaku in the manga. I forgot his name in the OVA. However, I love that fight scene because, it was just choreographed really well and it was absolutely done amazingly. The animation is really good. Even though it feels like an anime from the 90s, I can still say that it holds up really well today, especially because of those action scenes and even those little character moments that they sprinkle throughout both of these episodes. And because of this OVA was really, really engaging. It really kept me interested, really wanted me wondering what was next. And then when it was over, I was like, oh my god, is that it? Kind of knowing that there isn't more. That kind of sucked. But this kind of leads me into some of the cons that I had with this OVA. And the fact of the matter is that although the action scenes are very well animated and very well executed, and it's fantastic, and Alita's / Gallia's badass, there is a lot of screaming in this OVA. Like, a lot. Like, oh my god, like, it is ear piercing, especially when Galli screams. Like, it was very distracting. It didn't really take away much from the action scenes themselves. However, that was kind of a nitpick for me. My ears just kind of exploded. She gives Jamie Lee Curtis a run for her money. All the other bad guys, when they scream, it's just so like jarring, and especially if you're watching it with headphones. I mean, it can get pretty distracting and very, very uncomfortable, to wear. You just want to take them off and throw them on the ground. Another thing is that I alluded to this before. There's only 2 episodes, because of which it feels very incomplete. Like, there could have been so much more to this OVA, if only they would actually finish it. And because of this also, I felt that some parts were a little bit rushed. It's particularly in part 2 when they finally go up to the villain and Ito kills the villain. It's just so, like, it feels almost anticlimactic just because the build to that just wasn't there as much as I wanted it to. But those are just some of my pros and cons with Battle Angel. So, overall, despite some of its nitpicks, and despite the fact that it's a very short OVA and it actually was incomplete, I really enjoyed Battle Angel, aka GUNNM, and I thought it was very engaging, because of which I have a lot of high hopes for Alita Battle Angel, the live action movie. Now, I know I talked about anime and film in my nerd discussion, and I talked about how I've lost a lot of faith in it, but seeing some of the trailers, watching this anime, and reading some of the manga has really, boosted my confidence a little bit. If they can make an amazing movie in like the Blade Runner series, I don't know how they could screw this up. But again, of course, it is Hollywood. But I think they have to work really hard to screw up something like Battle Angel Alita. And also, I've also watched a couple of reviews myself. The response has been pretty positive for the most part, so that's a good thing. I am actually really excited for this movie. I never thought I would be excited for this film, but I am. I didn't know a damn thing about this until they announced the live action film, and then I went and started reading it and started watching the original anime, and I was like, holy crap, this has a lot of potential for a live action film. So I'm actually excited, and I'm rooting for Alita Battle Angel. But as far as a rating goes, I am going to give Battle Angel / GUNNM a thumbs up. So that pretty much concludes my thoughts on Battle Angel / GUNNM. Let me know what you guys thought about this OVA and this manga in the comment section below. Also, be sure to let me know what other anime / manga you would like me to review, as I am trying to do more anime related content on this channel, because I do have a lot of fun watching anime, and I really do enjoy it. But I do want to talk about some that maybe you guys would be interested. But all that's being said, let me know everything in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, and tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for your continued support. And until next time, this is Sid signing off. You guys take care. Bye-bye.